Okay. It's time. Welcome. So glad you're here. The Insane Asylum is over. You know what I did there? I actually was like saying that this name of this show is the Insane Asylum. That's how trained I am. I'm like a trained monkey. If I say the Insane Asylum a few times during like the day doing the show, the radio show, and then I come here and call it the Insane Asylum. My God. Welcome. It's Friday. I'm really starting to appreciate the weekends more. I mean, I always did, but with the additional amount of time that I'm spending that is not downtime, it makes me like, it's fantastic. God, the sun just came burning into my face. Ugh. That was intense. Damn it. So I got into another Facebook fight. Not really. Someone on the world famous Segment 18 Facebook page, which is from my pals Free Bear and Hot Wings. Someone posted a picture, an old publicity photo that we had. We're all young and ripped. Everybody's handsome and young. Little did we know we'd be torn apart by our own folly. So you had Eric, Joe, Burn King, Hot Wings, and Steve. And, it was like a lot of, someone said, caption this, or what's the name of this boy band, or something like that. And then, so that's fun. And then people started saying there was a lot of give and take. People like, well, that was the best era of the show. And people like, no way, man. The new era is the best way. And, oh, no, I like this era. So there's that discussion going on. Whatever. And then occasionally somebody will say, yeah, I hate Eric. I hope he dies. Or just something really horrible out of the blue. So I ignored most of them. There weren't a ton. There were some. Some people just don't like me. And, hey, I get it. Maybe I hurt you somehow. I don't know what the fuck I've done. I would like to think of myself as, if I am given a fair shake, you will get a fair shake back. If I am given a not so fair shake and you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you back. And I'm not going to stop until you stop fucking with me. Hang on, I got to get this goddamn shade. This is killing me. Burning in on my face. I remember jersey numbers all the time. I don't let it go. And I love that about me. That's like one of my favorite things about me. So this is a perfect example of, if you fuck with me and you're a fat fuck, I am going to insult how you look. That's where I'm going. If someone takes a run at me, either my personality, my makeup, what I'm made of, what I do, how I look, this is now fair game. The game is on. I don't give a fuck if you're young, you're old, you're a boy, you're a girl. Well, the only thing I wouldn't do is if I knew you had some type of like developmental disability. If I was aware of it, I would probably avoid that. But if you're just an asshole and a fat fuck, you better be rest assured I am going after you. Chris knows. He says, is it the old circle their profile pic? That is my fave. Yeah, one fat bitch, she wrote, ew, Eric Zane. And you would not believe this cretin's fucking face. If you took a shit on anyone else's face, it would be more attractive than that bitch. So fuck that. So some fucking whale writes, fuck Eric Zane. And I responded with, no thanks, I'm not into plumpers. Which is not exactly true. There are some plumpers that I'm actually into. Fluffiness is okay in my book, but I want her to know that she's a fat fuck. That's my goal. You are a fat fuck. That's what you are. Fuck off and die. That's where I am at that point. God damn it. And she wrote something like, she called me a troll. It's like, well, yeah, I don't know, bitch. I didn't start this. Fuck you. Mitch says, the quote, no thanks, I have a weight limit is also excellent. I will use that at some point. Thank you. That is appreciated. That is quite good. Star Wars Sucks 69 says, you go low, I go lower. That is my mantra. Always has been. Unless if I just want to ignore you. Because some people actually want to pick a fight with me because they have intentions that if I talk about them, it will help them. And so I usually, okay, I'm going to avoid those. I'm just going to keep quiet on those because I don't want to assist you. I'm not going to buy into your game. Today on the Insane Asylum on Q100, it was fantastic. I really am starting to feel comfortable. And when I say that, I mean I'm starting to get really shitty. And this is what I mean. There's certain things that you're like required to do. And obviously there's limited time when you are talking. Some of the things that you have to do are like reading what's known as a liner. And it might be like a message for the local propane company or give away a $10 gift certificate to a local restaurant or something like that. And I have to read this piece of, it's known as copy. And I don't know what's going on, but I can't read. I refer to TikTok as Tic Tac today. I'd like to actually start a feature on the show where there's like an over-under on verbal gaffes. And if you go over the verbal gaffe count, like you bet, you win a prize. Or if you pick under, you win a prize. Because it's so bad. I mean, I can't. I'm like, and then I like get frustrated with myself, and I can tell it's funny. I can tell when I browbeat myself and insult me for not being able to read. It's gold. Young Adam Schwab is here. He talks about that post on segment 18 that I was just describing to you. And he said one of those FBHW acolytes used the word irregardless. I saw that. Irregardless of my hatred for Zane, the show was really good then, or something like that. Yeah, irregardless. I think it's just regardless. I think you can use irregardless, but it just is kind of clumsy. Or maybe it isn't a word. I don't know. I have no idea. All right. We are one day closer to Eclipse Monday. So that is cool. There is a story on Fox in Detroit, I believe, about what to expect.
6 days away. So Monday, next week, Monday. It's already here. We've been waiting years for this, and it finally arrives here. Now, here's the path of totality. We call that totality. Now, that's where the moon completely blocks out the sun. Notice how Southeast Michigan is not in it. Now, northern Ohio is, Toledo is, but Michigan is not in it. So we're going to be 99%, which means all of the sun, with the exception of 1%, will be blacked out. And that does matter. Totality is the area you really want to be in. That's where it goes completely dark for a period of several minutes. In Toledo, it will be 2.5 minutes. In the center line of that graphic you saw, it's 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes and 26 seconds of complete totality. All that depends, though, on whether or not we see the sun, whether or not it's clear or cloudy or rainy. Now, here's the.
Can you imagine spending all that time driving over there? You've got your religious gear. You bring a few shamans with you. You bust out your hi-fi and start playing some Pink Floyd. As you hop out of your microbus, you look up and it's completely fucking cloud covered. You can't see fuck.
Last 10 April 10ths, and you'll see that most of them were more on the cloudy side. We are hoping, fingers crossed, that we are going to be not cloudy. In fact, models are suggesting partly cloudy skies, but I'm a little bit stressed out in the sense that one of our reliable weather models is now pulling a little bit more cloud cover in on Monday. Now, that can all change, of course, 6 days away. Cloud cover forecasts are notably hard to do. So we're gonna go into this optimistically. All right, we're still gonna hope that we're gonna have plenty of clear sky.
All right. If it were closer to me, I would make some sort of drive, some sort of pilgrimage, I guess. It's not.
I'm attorney Mark Bernstein. Our no-fee guarantee is simple. There's never a fee until we win for you.
To hire the Sam Bernstein.
Sorry about that. You just drive across the state, down into Ohio, and you can see the eclipse. But it's not that important. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, if it were here, I would love it. But I don't think I can muster up the strength. If it were as far away as probably 10 miles, then maybe. Then perhaps I would. But anything more than that, and I don't know if I could get behind that. I don't know if I could do that. My God. So here we go. But with that 1% showing, I wonder how dark is it going to be? I know it makes a big difference, but I mean, at least it'll be somewhat dark, right? So that is definitely something that will be on the top of mind in the afternoon, I believe. Let's see, what are the time frames? Sometime in the Ohio at 3:08 p.m. So I'm not exactly sure what time of the day this will be happening, but it'll be sometime in the afternoon. Should be okay. I need to warn you that on today's show here, at about, I think 9:40, I got to pause this and call my man JC and be on the air on Q100. I'm doing a short interview for about 5 to 7 minutes. So rather than just, be a target of the Big Fraud News Network and leave static camera while I go make a phone call, I'm going to end this show and then come back to it. Chris says do it live. That's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's a great idea. I'll write it. We'll do it live. Yeah, all right. Okay, we can do that. I don't know why I struggled with that. You know how many times that's happened where just one suggestion by you guys and I'm able to figure it out. It's really great. Okay, we got another story about a guy who's offering home improvements to people, who's bilking them. This is a 23-year-old guy who somehow manages to get in front of people with money who then say, yeah, we want you to build our dream home. And he was, okay, yeah, And then they give him a ton of money, and then he like takes off with the money. Username 12989 says, just don't forget to not be Eric Zane. Oh, without a doubt. Ryan says the same thing. Just make sure you don't mix up your on-air personas. So true. Okay, so this scam artist is right here in West Michigan. This is a good one. This guy is a smooth talker. He's a con artist. Here he is getting into his Porsche.
Is charged with fraud tonight. David John Jenkins was released on bond after his first court appearance in Leelanau County today.
Customers and workers are suing him in Kent County, worried he's living large on their dime. Tonight, Target 8 investigator Henry Erb tracks him down and finds out why
Henry Erb, yes.
are angry with him.
David Jenkins?
David John Jenkins is 23 years old. On Instagram, he calls himself an entrepreneur. One of his corporate websites calls him a visionary leader. He was just a couple years out of high school when he started creating companies. One of them is Jenkins Estates Limited, high-end home remodeling and construction.
You know, he comes across as a really high-energy person.
But this is not another story about youthful, world-beating business success.
Yeah, I think.
Did you see that look on him?
Beating business success.
Look at that smug fuck. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think he should be punished.
Jenkins faces criminal investigations in East Grand Rapids and in northern Michigan, where the Leelanau County prosecutor is charging him with fraud over $100,000. Customers, subcontractors, and suppliers have filed at least 11 lawsuits in at least 4 different courts in Kent County.
He likes to go after people who pay cash, so there's no bank in between. Then he'll demand a lot of the money up front, like he did with us, and then none of the subs get paid.
Johannes and Ian Plug contracted with Jenkins to build their retirement home overlooking Sutton's Bay near Traverse City. First, a lumber company emailed the Plugs wanting money they'd already given Jenkins. Then,
we found out that the framers stopped working on the house because they hadn't been paid.
Plug says Jenkins left the house roofless and
Raise your hand if you think that's a mail order bride he has.
Exposed to the weather.
$350,000.
Imagine if she tries to speak and he goes, shut up!
$1,000 worth of work done on it, and we paid him $800,000 up to that point.
The Plugs are suing Jenkins in federal.
Wait, how much money? This guy's in for how much?
Plug says Jenkins left the house roofless and exposed to the weather.
$350,000 worth of work done on it, and we paid him $800,000 up to that point.
Cash? You gave him $8? How rich is this fuck?
The Plugs are suing Jenkins in federal court and made a criminal complaint that has now resulted in fraud charges.
Okay, when it comes to punchable faces, this might be one of the most punchable. Look at that fucking face. Oh, he's got those giant DSL free beer lips. God damn it.
Jenkins in federal court and made a criminal complaint that has now resulted in fraud charges. They had to borrow money from family to continue the work.
I don't believe that he intended to finish the home. I think that once he had a bulk of our money, he just let the home bill as far as it would go without paying anyone.
I'm often wondering how can you expect this to go? How do you expect what do you expect the end result to be when you take all of that money, blow it more than likely, the contractors don't get paid, the home is not finished, you're in town, it's simple to track you down. What do you think's going to happen?
Investigators wanted to hear what Jenkins had to say. We found that Jenkins Estates headquarters on 76th Street closed and empty. The landlord is suing to evict and recover rent money.
You have reached a number that is not currently set up to receive calls.
We called, texted, and went to Jenkins' house in East Grand Rapids, where we saw him drive away in his Porsche. We caught up with him coming out of a bank.
David Jenkins? Hi, I'm Carter Gent with Wood TV. I just have some questions for you.
Sorry, have a good rest of your day.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
We got no answers and watched Jenkins drive off toward East Grand Rapids, where he could face another criminal charge. Police are looking into a project at this house just a few blocks from Jenkins' own home. Alex Zhang says one of the reasons he hired Jenkins to build an addition was that they are practically neighbors.
Why would you do something to your neighbors? I never imagined that, so that's why I pay him every time he showed me an invoice. And
He says he paid Jenkins about...
Ryan writes, of course he talks like that. Not this guy, the scam artist.
80% of the money, but only 20% of the job was done when subcontractors and suppliers...
Holy shit! That's the tear-off they did.
...started complaining about not getting paid. They were coming after him for money he'd already paid Jenkins.
He is very confident. He knows he's lying, but he shows so much confidence.
Enough confidence to win the trust of otherwise knowledgeable people.
Wow.
Johannes Plug is an attorney. He's heard from a half dozen other victims.
They're all professional people. They're in fields where they should know, and they too were same situation.
Okay, he's suggesting that these are all people who should be able to smell the bullshit, which I don't know what that means. I mean, does that? Yeah, they're all professionals, so they must be worldly. They must know when they're being scammed. I don't know. Maybe he's good at being a scam artist. He's, there are people that exist like that. They just say shit. Fuck, this show right here. Oh, no. All right, yes.
Half dozen other victims.
They're all professionals where they should know, and they too were same situation. They trusted them.
Look at that fucking face. What a set of beady, fucked up eyes. This guy needs to be punched.
The Plugs worry that Jenkins...
Look at that bag.
...has been living a high-end lifestyle with their money. And
it's probably like a $3,000 bag he's got.
Don't hold out much hope of getting it back.
He's a young guy. He has, a Porsche and a Tesla, and he likes nice
cock. That's what he likes.
And things, Rolex watches, and travels.
Lots of black dick.
Jenkins' attorney says Jenkins won't be commenting publicly and will let it all play out in court. I'm Target 8 investigator Henry Erb.
Oh,
Standale Homes.
That is something. What a dirty fuck this guy is. Tyler says asshole of the day for sure. Chris says a guy with a Gucci bag and a Porsche doesn't seem like a good house builder. Adam says, does he have a hot tub? Johnny says it's a European man satchel. Ryan says he'd make a good Trump lawyer if he fell for that punchable tart. Bob says that's a shit Porsche too. My Silverado is worth more than that. SBF with FTX. That's Sam Bankman-Fried was the ultimate scam artist. Yeah, didn't that guy just get like 20 years? Sam Bankman-Fried. He was a guy that during the Super Bowl he had all those ads with like Tom Brady. And the next thing you know, it goes belly up. Ryan says the victim is an attorney. Yikes. Chris says, why don't they call a company that formerly sponsored the show for a dumpster? Oh, exactly. Yeah, we can't say that yet. Right now, until we actually have a company that used to sponsor the show becomes a sponsor again, it's fair game as to what dumpster company you can call. You could call any dumpster company right now. If you're thinking about calling a dumpster company, there are many. I suggest you start in the phone book and then go with like AAA dumpster. The first one that shows up and is close to you. Until I'm actually given a dollar amount so that I am given permission to speak about said dumpster company. I'm going to call Q100. First, I'm going to call JC. Because I thought I was supposed to call at like 9:40. Thus begins my ridiculous quest to be on Q100.
You reached JC at Q100.
Let me call Joe Mama. Mm-hmm. This is like the boss.
Hello.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Easy?
I'm well, thanks. I'm podcasting right now. And am I calling you at 9:40 or am I calling the studio line?
I guess call the studio line.
I will do that. At about 9:40, is that right?
I have no idea.
Uh-oh.
JC, yeah, he wanted to talk to you, so I think he'll be done with Northern Focus around then.
Okay.
So that'll be good.
Okay, I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
That's going to be great. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'm a little concerned.
You reached JC at...
I'll call the request line. How's that sound?
Please enter your password.
What the fuck is that? Oh, I am totally confused. Here's what happens. There's a show that they do from 9 to 10 called Northern Focus. Okay. JC just texted. I will call you. Okay, good deal. Got it. Good deal. It's calling me. It's the first time I heard that. Phone is off, do not disturb. It'd be impossible to screw this up. I got my high-end microphone pushed up to my cell phone. It should work perfectly. I want you to know, Ryan, that very soon I'm going to get my broadcast console. Now, that is going to be another reason for a fantastic article from the Big Fraud News Network. That will allow me to actually take normal phone calls, like I have, like a setup where, like, you could call into the show, this show. That's exactly right. With great power comes great responsibility. So I'm very excited about that, and I will finally be rid, which this has worked fine, holding my cell phone up to the microphone, my spare microphone, has worked fantastically for quite some time. That hasn't let me down at all. It looks like a poverty setup, yes, but it's effective. At the end of the day, you can hear it. And how much has it eaten into my bottom line? Zero. Nothing. Someone said, yeah, why don't you go ahead and spend some money on a high-end phone line or whatever the hell? And I go, I don't need it. I don't need it at all. This works just fine. Yeah, but you look like an asshole. Whatever. I like money. I'd rather be cheap about it and have the money. So there's that. Amanda says, concerning the guy who's embezzling the money, I'm getting sick of the same footage of him getting into his fucking Porsche. Well, that's all they had. Nick says, how do people that stupid get that rich? Talking about the guy who gave the $800,000. Joe Martinez writes, they don't do their research. More builders do draws at certain times. Yeah, I think a big red flag would be if you had a builder saying, you need all this money up front. I've never had to do this. I've never really had. I take it back. I had a landscaper work on my backyard, and the guy, I'm not going to say his name because he'll probably sue me. Some of you know who I'm talking about. And so I know the guy. I'd worked with him in the past in various for various things. And he says, "Okay, I'm going to do the backyard." And I go, "Okay, great." And then one of the things he did was he contracted this local sprinkler company. So I paid him the money for the job. All right. It wasn't like this where you had to pay it up front. Like, he did the job, and then he said, this is how much it's going to cost you. And the work is done. I wrote him a check, paid for the work he did, and then he goes and he takes some of that money, and he'll pay the sprinkler people. Well, he did not. And they actually knocked on my door. Hello. Yes, we're so-and-so from, it's a great company in town. They're called Sheppers. And I still work with them to this day because they turn my sprinklers on and off. I should get them on the podcast. He goes, yeah. So this guy, he absconded. He did not pay us. And I go, what? Jesus fucking shit. So I called him and I go, dude, you never paid them. And he gave me some song and dance. I could just tell he was pulling my chain. I was like, uh-oh. So I reached back out and I'm trying to get him to do that. And then they finally just said, look, just so you know, we are entitled to get that money back. And you're not going to believe this, but we can actually get it back from you. Like you could be in trouble for this. Now, I'm like, uh-oh. So, but they were kind enough to say, it's okay. You don't have to deal with this. So if you are in my neck of the woods, hire the folks at Sheppers, Schepers. They are wonderful. Was this? Yes, this is before the podcast. So yeah, this was during the BBL era. What I should have done is once I signed on here, given them like a free ad schedule. Okay. Also locally, there was a story about, this wasn't too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, I was reading that not far from here in Holland, some lady was in a domestic dispute with her husband, and she tried to drive away. Like, she was pissed off at him, and he was pissed off at her, and they were at, like, the Wendy's parking lot. And this guy jumps onto the hood of her car, and he's hanging on like a stunt man. And then she turns while he's on the car, and he goes flying off of the car, and he smashed his brains in, and he died, like, right there. And I don't know what the fuck is going on here. She called the TV station and said, hey, I want to talk about how my husband got his brain smashed in when he flew off of my car. Can we sit down for a Q&A? What the fuck? Who the fuck is this woman's lawyer? You don't say shit.
West Michigan wife, now a widow, after she says her husband jumped onto the windshield of her car and was thrown off while she was driving. This happened last Monday in a Wendy's parking lot in Holland. Today I spoke with that woman who says she wants to share her side of things.
I'm still in disbelief. The whole
Uh-oh.
It just blows my mind. I don't know.
Distraught, heartbroken, Venice Leone says she never meant to hurt her husband, Robert Leone.
Oh, yeah. And it all happened so fast. And I would have never, ever hurt him in a million years. He was my best friend.
He died with her behind the wheel. It happened.
Oh, my God.
And at this Wendy's in Holland, the two began fighting, Venice says, because she ordered a Nintendo Switch and not a PS5.
And he got really...
Oh. Okay. This is the thing where Fox 17 should look out for this woman and like decline this offer to speak. Or perhaps they made the offer for her to speak and she took it. And then, maybe think better of it. Okay?
Really upset. Like, I've never seen him like that. I've never seen him fly off the handle like that. I've never seen him. I don't know why he got so angry, but then he started telling me I'm, calling me names and being very aggressive, and he scared my daughter. She screamed at the top of her lungs, scared because he was yelling at me. He slapped me and then he punched my arm.
Oh.
And I was trying to keep my cool. And I told him, I can cancel the order. I can order the PS5, and
things escalated from there. At one point, Robert gets out of the car.
My daughter's screaming. She's going, Mom, help me. Get me away from him. Mom, save me.
Oh, no.
So I pulled out of the parking spot. And I backed out and I went to go forward.
Venice says she was trying to drive from the Wendy's parking lot to the Meijer parking lot, just until Robert cooled off. She describes what happens next.
I was pulling out, he jumped on the hood and he was holding on where the windshield wipers are. And I had proceeded to turn, and as I turned, he slipped off and he fell and hit his head. And what caused him to pass away is he got a brain bleed that was inoperable and they couldn't fix it.
I asked Venice why she didn't just stop driving.
I thought about that later, but it happened so quickly, and my daughter was freaking out, and he was trying to break the window on the driver's side door. He was kicking the car. I was scared. Honestly, I was scared.
I reached out to Holland Public Safety today, and they tell me that the incident is still under investigation. Reporting, Julie Dunmeyer, Fox 17 News.
I take it back. That was a brilliant move by that lady. Because if anyone saw that, and they will, there is no fucking way anybody is going to prosecute this woman. Holy shit. If you're like the prosecutor in Ottawa County and you see that, you're like, yeah, there's no fucking way we can prosecute this poor woman. What an unbelievable layer of sorrow. Ugh. I feel so terrible for her. Jesus. Oh, man. Honestly, here I am in this job where I can make fun of anything. I would never even dream of saying anything sideways about that sweet lady. Are you kidding me? That poor thing. Oh, my God. There's a lot of assholes in the chat, though, who are really, really deserving of having a horrible day. I went into that story not knowing what to expect. I usually don't preview these, but I know that was a story that they covered, and I go, oh, yeah, this is I like to focus on these stories from time to time and give my point of view about it, but oh my God. Impossible to really park on this. Chris says phone call time easy. I'm still waiting. Ryan writes, okay, first Tim writes, she's pleading for sympathy, hoping not to get charged. Ryan writes, oh my God, is she a dirt person? Patrick says she killed him and planned it. Yeah, I don't believe that. Chris says, shocking they were at Wendy's. Username 12989 said, these look like Cedar Springs people. All right, hang on. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, by the way, I'm podcasting, so say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
This
is the tall, golden-locked menace.
Yes, the luscious JC.
Silver-haired menace. We're going to be on in a minute. Joe Marie will not be able to hear you. So if I reiterate some things, don't think I've lost my mind.
Yep, I will keep it in mind.
All right. Right. Tom Katchadurian from HabitatGTR.org. Thanks for joining us on Northern Focus and gifting us with that great news.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll be back after these words from our fine partners on Q100's Northern Focus, brought to us by Kirtland Community College. Goodies in the green room come from Bay Bread Company in downtown Traverse City, and guests of the program. Tom will not apply for this, but the next time I see Tom in person, will get a Auto Spa coupon from MLA Auto Spa in downtown Grayling.
Region 9 Area Agency on Aging presents a free caregiver empowerment and wellness conference Friday, April 19th at the Mayo Baptist Church from 10 to 4. Find out about community resources, technology tools.
I want my Auto Spot gift card.
Brain health, and have your questions answered.
More comments. Kenny said it once and then highlight it so that we'd see it again. She reminds me of Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs. Oh, my God. Ryan says the fight was about video games. Ha, 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 ha. Kenny would be like, God damn it. What are you doing, kid me? Get me a Nintendo Switch. I wanted a PlayStation. Hang on, let me jump on this car and...
Q100, brought to us by Kirtland Community College. Portions of the program were pre-recorded, but Jerry Coyne is live in studio with Joe Mama.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
And on the phone from his remote studio, we don't know where it is Eric Zane from the Insane Asylum, the morning show. We wanted to talk for a couple of minutes about the big Tournament of Rock draft happening tomorrow at Odawa Casino. EZ, what's happening?
You are, my friend. I'm so excited to see everybody.
Yeah, anticipation is building for your first station appearance. And I just sense a massive amount of disappointment coming tomorrow for your underwhelming appearance.
I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yes. Look, it is my goal to drive a wedge between you and everyone on the staff. And Joe Marie and I are going to have a wonderful time getting along with everyone. It's going to be great.
Well, listen, Joe Marie knows this for being here for God knows how many years now. I have already driven a wedge between the staff for 6 to 8 years. So luckily I'm married to the boss, and that keeps me employed.
Yes.
But Joe Mama and I were talking yesterday afternoon about potential candidates for the draft. We've seen a lot of input in a couple of different areas, Joe.
Yeah, we had a lot of nominations online, so I graciously, I'm the only one that knows how to get them off the website, but I graciously shared that with my fellow competitors in case there was anybody on that list that they hadn't thought of. And there's, I can say this, there's too many choices.
It'll be very interesting considering the different musical tastes that you, J-Bo, I have no idea, after listening to the Insane Asylum, the midnight version of the program for many years.
Yeah, what is he like? I don't even know.
I think he's going to have Eric Wiseman, the great banjo player, or Billy Strings would be my guess, right?
If he could.
Or who'd you have, Mumford and Sons today? Which Mumford son would you put on your list?
Don't you dare sully the banjo. A very underrated instrument. I will say that. Is there any stealing? Because, I'm not a fan of Dimebag Darrell, but I know Joe is. So if I drafted Dimebag Darrell just to spite her, or, it's kind of like some strategy. Can you maybe share that with her?
Well, I don't know if Dimebag Darrell is on Joe Mama's list. I have an idea who's on J-Bo's list. So I know J-Bo, Alex Lifeson is going to be right after Satriani. Right. So we know that. Joe is mysterious. She jumps back and forth between her own list and then who her listeners might vote for. So, you go ahead and think by scarfing Dimebag Darrell, you're going to torpedo Joe Marie's list, but don't be so sure.
Yeah, and it's actually, it is because you're trying to be loyal to your listeners. I just hope, and not just pick all the guitarists that I like, but I do hope that the listeners will acknowledge that there are great guitarists that have come before. Some of them have passed away. They blazed the trail, but there are good contemporary artists too. And, Dimebag is among those who have passed away. And the only thing Eric Zane will do, if he wants to take Dimebag first, is alienate his boss for the rest of his career at Q100 Michigan. And if he's okay with that, I'm okay with that. I think he's had a taste of Joe Mama. He knows how I can be. So if he wants to accept that for the rest of his career here, as long as I'm here, fine. Bring it on.
Well, Eric is at a slight disadvantage because he doesn't quite know his audience yet. So we'll give him that.
Right. Right. Well, I guess my question is there any chance that a guitarist that is really good but not as well known as an Eddie Van Halen or a Jimi Hendrix, does a Rory Gallagher have a chance in this contest?
Rory Gallagher would definitely have a chance, especially given that there's two things here. Number one, we're the only radio station on the planet that has ever played Rory Gallagher. I mean, ever. I don't even think I ever heard him on WABX there. Number two, we get a lot of requests for Rory Gallagher. Number three, depending on what roadie or what business ends up with Rory Gallagher, he could win the tournament because at the end of the day, it's a vote-driven event. And, for perfect example, last year's first-round matchup was Robert Plant versus Steven Tyler, and Tyler took Plant down by a huge number. Now, in most instances, people would think that's a toss-up. Right. But I think Tyler won 63 to 35%. So, somebody wants to win that $2,000.
Yeah, we put a huge carrot out there. And so sometimes you start with merit, you start with taste, but at the end of the day, the almighty dollar typically is what drives the win.
And that's why we had to pull all the restrictions off of voting, because the second year we did this, it used to be you could only vote one time per day. A couple of people figured out that they could vote more often than not, so we just took all the restrictions off, and, whoever wants to vote can vote. I think it's up to 2,000 times a day.
So
yeah, we do have to put a limit on it, but we make it physically impossible to reach that limit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So bribery, then, if I wanted to bribe the audience, I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to do that.
Eric is going to bribe the audience.
You can try.
I don't know. We're not paying you enough to bribe the audience. I don't know how you must be wealthy on your own.
No. I mean, I was thinking maybe I could offer special things, like maybe cook them a nice meal. I don't know, a campfire.
Make their bed?
Yes, we have s'mores.
Okay.
You know, I could
s'mores. People like s'mores.
Yes. I could steal some of JC's thirst trap pictures to give away. I know that those are a hot commodity.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I don't know what a thirst trap picture is.
Oh, I do.
Okay, well, Zane says I'm giving those away today at the Iron Pig of me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. That said, we do. I'm expecting a huge crowd tomorrow at Odawa Casino.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's always fun. We will have T-shirts
and the prize wheel.
So, and Odawa will be contributing some stuff. We'll have some of their dining certificates. I think a couple of listeners last year, if I remember, Joe, won, significant money gambling while the draft was going. I know J-Bo's wife won like $400.
Yeah, there's always a huge opportunity there. Bring your penny jar and hit the tables.
EZ, do you gamble?
Occasionally, I like to play some video poker or maybe some slots. That's about it. I get too intimidated playing blackjack because I'm afraid I'll do something wrong and the other players will get mad at me and beat me up.
Well, the violence is usually kept to a minimum at the blackjack table, but they do have plenty of video poker in the center bar right behind where we're going to do the draft. So, like I said, there is opportunities to win now and win later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're very excited for you to be joining us and people to understand that you're absolutely nothing like you are on the air.
Well, wait a minute now. What do you mean? Are you?
You said that yourself on the radio today.
I mean, okay.
Easy. If you need any guidance or a shoulder to cry on, Joe Mama's going to be there for you.
Yes.
But I will remind you that this is much like Big Brother or those like reality shows.
Yep.
So just trust no one.
All right. Very good.
That's my advice.
I am excited for it. I hear Louie is barking in the background. That makes me happy.
Louie is really chomping at the bit for his mother to get off the air.
Yep.
So we will let you slide. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at Odawa Casino at 11 o'clock. Eric Zane for the Tournament Rock 5.0. It's going to be amazing.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
There we go. Oh, my God. I'm glad it's over. Fuck. So goddamn awkward. I'm always afraid that I'll say something wrong with these people. Do something wrong. Adam says the late Steve Clark is very underrated. Is that the guy? Is that the one-arm guy from Def Leppard who plays guitar? Isn't that what happened? If I remember correctly, the band was like walking out of a venue and there was a tiger. And it chewed off the guitar player's arm. And then he came back, though. And I don't know how the fuck he plays guitar with one arm, but he does. Rebecca says not even close. What are you talking about? Everybody knows that story. The one arm guitar player, wasn't it? Isn't that? I barely know anything about Def Leppard. Oh, fucking shit. Adam says the drummer is one arm. Well, that makes a lot more sense. I thought that was weird. So the drummer was walking out and a tiger ripped his arm off, a tiger or a lion. I guess there was some kind of petting zoo exhibit going on they were doing a state fair show. And the animal ripped his arm off and he came back and he plays with one arm, like his feet and one arm. And then Steve Clark is, I don't even know what happened to that guy. He's got kicked out of the band? What happened to him? He's so good, but they kicked him out of the band? Oh, Chris in Buffalo says he's dead. He lost his arm right before the Hysteria album, Chris says. And Tim says the guy lost his arm in a car accident. Okay. So the guy who's dead drank himself to death. So the band has one guy who drank himself to death and the other guy is missing an arm. I would say that's a hell of a comeback story. If you can, lose your guitar player because he drank himself to death, and then your drummer has one arm. Oh, boy. Q100.
Yeah, hey, is Joe Mama there?
Yeah, I think she's in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's going on? You want me to give her a message?
Yeah, I just wanted her to play a song. I'll call her.
What song were you looking for?
One by Luann Barton.
Oh yeah, I love Luann Barton. Yeah.
Nina, do I?
She loves that song. All right, yeah, call her back.
All right.
All right, man.
Thanks.
See you. Bye. I don't know why I get those calls. The phones are not on forward. This is not the first person who we've heard on the show who it's very clear life is hard and there's some consumption happening. Stevie says, what is up with these people? Oh, no, it's the same guy. Oh, I feel bad. I can't pick it up. I don't know why I have the calls on forward. I bear with me here, but I want to make I don't know how this is happening. I want you to see what I see. Okay. This is ridiculous. Okay, I'm signed in. Now, when I finished my show today, I went ahead and took the phones off forward. It's set up so that when people call the radio station, call forwarding. Look, call forwarding. It is not it is toggled on. I did not toggle it on. It should not be toggled on. So then I get calls all day from people asking to play songs on the radio station. I'm like, well, no, I can't do it. I can only help you during the day or during the morning show. All right, here's the list. These are I need to draft, I think, 6 or 8 guitarists. I've been adding to it. Some are ringers, like will definitely be there in the end, I think. But according to them, I could draft a guy nobody's heard of and he could win it. Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimmy Page, David Gilmour, Zakk Wylde, Dimebag Darrell. I probably won't draft Dimebag Darrell because Jo Marie is the woman I was talking to. You heard her. I'm going to avoid pissing her off. Jeff Beck, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Joe Perry. I don't know about Joe Perry. Joe Bonamassa is terrific. Larry McRae, Eric Clapton, Dwayne Allman, Johnny Lang, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Carlos Santana, Angus Young, Alex Lifeson, Brian May, Billy Gibbons, Ted Nugent, Tony Iommi, Prince, Peter Frampton, Ace Frehley, Mark Knopfler, Robin Trower, Pat Travers, Randy Rhoads, Tom Morello, Steve Marriott, Wayne Kramer, MC5. I got to add Nils Lofgren, E Street Band. Ooh, Eric Johnson. Cliffs of Dover. Yeah, he's special too. Kyle says Q100 played Cemetery Gates yesterday. That made my day. Rebecca says, what about Prince? Then she said, okay, I love Prince, because she heard that I added Prince. I'm not kidding you. On YouTube, look up Prince, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. It's one of the most special things you will ever see. I'm not kidding you. You've got Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne from ELO, Steve Winwood, Danny Harrison, which is George's son, who sounds just like him, and Prince at some event. It might have been like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction thing. And they did While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And, it was something. It was something. Kenny writes, what about Angus Young? Now, for all of you who aren't retarded, you heard me say Angus Young right after I said Carlos Santana and right before I said Alex Lifeson. Guess who wasn't paying attention? I don't know if there was a hot pocket in the microwave or what, but I already said Angus Young. He writes, dude, I switched to my car and missed some, for fuck's sake. I didn't hear it. Uh-oh. He's going to rage out. Here we go. See, this is how it is. I bust his balls, and then he flips a lid. Here we go. Hurricane Kenny. Mount St. Hinson getting ready to erupt. Here comes Hothead. Roar! Roar! I'm mad. That's right. Yeah, let's go back to you talking about that grieving woman and then calling her Pizza the Hut. And then it wasn't read, so you highlighted it and played it again. Or you posted it again to make sure I'd see it. And I'm the asshole? You're calling me an asshole because I'm busting you for being yourself. And here this woman is. Her life is over. She's had a tough life to begin with. She's lost the love of her life. And here you are calling her Pizza the Hut, but I'm the asshole. Holy fuck. Don't blame me. Look at, I think he rage quit. He said, bah. He's still here, but he's probably, this is what happens. You see his name there, and then it's going to disappear because I told him I can see his name. He'll then go to one of his sock accounts and then start like writing the same style. It's him. And then that won't work. So then one of you is later on going to get a message on Facebook, and it's going to be about, it'll have taken him about 5 hours to write it, and it'll take you that long to read it. About, I just need someone to hold me. All I want is your love. All because he went on the chat and called a woman who accidentally killed her husband Pizza the Hut. I didn't even say anything fucked up about that woman. I didn't. Can you imagine if I said something fucked up about that poor lady? How badly you guys would have kicked my ass? All I did was picture, while that story was going on my shoulder was Megan's face, just like looking at me, tapping her toe. Like, oh, God, don't do it easy. Read the room, motherfucker. Chris writes, hey, Kenny, that lady from the story is single and ready to mingle? What? Tim writes, we all thought it, though. Well, I mean, we were looking at someone who's had challenges, but she's there weeping, for God's sake. She's crying. What do you want her to do? Look like a fucking Kim Kardashian? My God. All right. Well, anyway. Okay. I can't believe it. We're already like an hour and 10 minutes into this. The time always flies when we're having fun. For those folks who are getting the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube, thank you so much for being here, but I got to kick you out, and the rest of the show is on Twitch. So download the Twitch app, and then just search Eric Zane Live, and you're good to go. You can watch the rest of the show, okay? Or just go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live from your desktop or your laptop, and then you will be in business that way. As always, the audio podcast is available wherever you download shows after I finish making it right here. And then, of course, the Patreon, where on Sunday of this week, I think we're going to start at 11 a.m. on Sunday, we will be having a Big Fraud Sunday, the very first Big Fraud Sunday. And I'm very excited about this because the show starts with Who Are These Zanes? And on that episode of Who Are These Zanes, Ben is going to be reviewing material from Thursday, May 15th, 2003. I believe this is the only recording I have ever of the Hot Wings and Zane show. So we will be reviewing that. This was on Wednesday, May 14th, 2003. Our pal Freebeer was having chest pains. And he called the 911, and an ambulance came and picked him up at his house. Now, ultimately, all he had was like indigestion or something like that, but he didn't want to take any chances. But they brought him to the hospital, and he was so full of anxiety that he vagaled and passed out. And so at the hospital, they're like, what the fuck? This guy just coded on us. So he stayed home the next day, and Hot Wings and I did the show. I have not listened to this at all. I sent the entire show over to Ben to review, and he's going to review it on a Big Fraud Sunday when we do Who Are These Zanes? So that is going to be something. I can't wait to hear what Ben comes up with. And then after that, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. All right. Should be good. Kyle says, smug beer, that's just your heart beating, you snarking a-hole. Up north, Justin is here. Good morning, Easy and everyone. I'm going to see Justin tomorrow at Odawa Casino. Are you bringing the pickup truck? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe you drive it in the spring. It is fucking sweet. God damn it. What is that, a Cheyenne or a Silverado? Old school Silverado? I forget. It's orange and white. That boxy square front end. No, she's still away for the winter. Justin is bringing his lovely better half. Rebecca says, what time are you going to be at the casino tomorrow? I will be there just before 11 a.m. Are you thinking about going, Rebecca? And if you are, you have to let me know. However, if you don't let me know, you will be very easy to pick out because hopefully you will bring your lovely better half. And you two will be the only ones there who are I don't even know the right term to say it, but your husband is African American and you are a white lady. And that does not happen up there. What is that man's name again? I've met him. He seems so kind and so sweet. Is it Gary? Why do I think that everyone's husband's name is Gary on this show? It's either Gary, Terry, or Larry. Or maybe Jerry. His name is Kevin. God damn it. Up north, Justin has a GMC K2500. It's so sweet. What year? We don't care. What year? Chris says, I want to take a road trip to Berlin this year. Oh, big time. I'll let you know what days that I'm going to be there. And you can hang out with us. We can wander around the pits, do our thing. Amy says, Mr. Amy is Gary. Mr. Maureen is Terry. Mr. Rebecca is Kevin. We should do a game of audience members whose significant others do not like EZ. And just have like a focus group. What do you not like about him? I can just picture Terry on there. That guy hates me. Mr. Stevie is Rob. Also not a fan of EZ. What is wrong with these people? Megan says we should put them in a room with Eric Zaitunian, not EZ. Well, if there's no microphone there, it will be Eric Zaitunian. If it's being broadcast, it has to be EZ. The only time it won't be EZ is if it's radio EZ. Then it's Zaitunian, like what you just saw moments ago when I was on with JC and Joe Mama. Not only am I Zaitunian there, but I'm low man on the totem pole. And she couldn't even hear me there. Which, by the way, nobody was able to detect that because we're great. Linda says, I worked in market research for 3 years. I can do the focus group. Megan says, Brian likes you. He just doesn't think you're funny. But he doesn't think I'm funny either. So I think it's a Brian problem. We're super funny. Oh, goddamn right. Yeah, it is a Brian problem. What does he laugh at, Megan? I'm curious. What makes the meter move for Brian? Because I think I'm hilarious. I think I'm very funny. If I'm not very funny, I make you go, what? And the absurdity of what I said is what's funny. The one line that comes to mind this week is when I said, you know, Diana's only 4'11", so it's like having sex with a child. That's the type of absurdity that you would that you would get from me. All right, I still need to kick you guys out. There you go. Out.